Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And dear students, welcome back to lecture number 14 of macroeconomic course. जैसा कि आपको मालूम है, हम चंद मिनट के लिए पिछले लेक्चर पे बात करते हैं और उसके बाद आज का लेक्चर शुरू करेंगे. So I will try to revise what we have learned in yesterday class और उसके बाद आज का लेक्चर शुरू करेंगे. So we were discussing the open economy and we have discussed the second part of open economy, particularly with reference to exchange rate. We have defined what we mean by exchange rate. So there are two types of exchange rate that we have discussed last time, and one is the nominal exchange rate, the other is real exchange rate. So nominal exchange rate is the price of a country's currency in terms of another country currency, right? So when we convert a currency of a country into another currency, so that is basically the nominal exchange rate. So if we, for example, say that $1 US is equal to 97 rupees, Pakistani rupees, so that is the exchange rate of Pakistani rupee with US dollar. So that is known as the nominal exchange rate. And then we have discussed and talked about the real exchange rate. Real exchange rate is the price of a country goods in terms of another country goods. So the real exchange rate equals basically the nominal exchange rate into the prices of two countries, right? Price of foreign country divided price of domestic country. So there are two types of exchange rates which prevails in the economy, nominal and real exchange rate. And nominal exchange rate, जैसा कि मैंने कहा, is the price of one country currency in terms of other country currencies, and the real exchange rate is the price of one country goods in terms of another country goods. उसके बाद हमने ये देखा कि how these two exchange rates are determined in the world market. NX, as you know that NX is the net exports of a country, and which is the difference between exports minus imports, and net exports depends negatively on the real exchange rate if other things remains equal. Now when we say negative, what it means that if whenever there is increase in exchange rate, it will make the goods or the products of a domestic country expensive. जब expensive हो जाती हैं रियल एक्सचेंज रेट के बढ़ने से, तो what will happen, उनकी exports कम हो जाती हैं, imports में इजाफा हो जाता है, and the gap between exports and imports become widen, और जो net exports है वो कम होना शुरू हो जाती हैं. And similarly, if real exchange rate goes down, जब real exchange rate में कमी वाक़या होती है तो उससे क्या होगा, net exports में इजाफा हो जाता है, because the goods of the domestic country will become inexpensive or less expensive. तो जब रियल एक्सचेंज रेट में कमी वाक़या होती है, गुड्स सस्ती हो जाती हैं डोमेस्टिक कंट्री की, उसकी एक्सपोर्ट्स में इजाफा हो जाएगा और इंपोर्ट्स में कमी वाक़या होगी, और जो ट्रेड बैलेंस है, जो डिफरेंस है बिटवीन एक्सपोर्ट्स एंड इंपोर्ट्स विल बिकम पॉजिटिव, एंड नेट एक्सपोर्ट जो है उनमें इजाफा हो जाएगा. The real exchange rate adjusts to equate NX with net capital outflow, right? So उसके बाद हमने ये देखा कि the real exchange rate basically adjusts to equate the net exports of the country with net capital outflow, and we know that net capital outflow is equal to saving minus investment. So here savings are given, investment is depending on the world interest rate, right? So the real exchange rate, basically the job of real exchange rate is to adjust to equate the net exports of a country equal to the net capital outflow. So this is how we can determine the real exchange rate. Now what are the factors that determines the nominal exchange rate? उस पे भी हमने बात की पिछली क्लास में. E is equals the real exchange rate times the country price level relative to the foreign country price level. Now, for a given value of real exchange rate, the percentage change in the nominal exchange rate is equal the difference between the foreign and domestic inflation rate. So, for any given value of, if we assume that real exchange rate is given, so then the nominal exchange rate is determined or is equal to the difference in the inflation rates of the two countries, right? So inflation rate or the price level of the two countries determine the country's nominal exchange rate, right? So inflation rate of both of the countries who are involved in international trade, that determines basically the nominal exchange rate. उसके बाद हमने लास्ट जो चीज़ हमने सीखी, that was about the purchasing power parity. Now PPP means one price principle, that goods must be sold or goods are sold at the same price in the trading countries, in the trading partners. And there are arguments, it's difficult that this purchasing power parity may hold true in the real world because of two reasons. There are some goods which are non-traded goods, non-traded goods. Non-traded goods की सूरत में price एक जैसी नहीं हो सकती. And moreover, when we are involved in trade, when we are in open economy, there are transaction costs involved also. जब transaction cost involved होती है, तो of course the prices would be different in two countries. So, but however, it is a simple and basic theory, and in the long run, in case of open economies, goods are sold at the same price in the countries. So this was all about the previous class, students. आज का lecture शुरू करते हैं. So what we are going to learn today is the new topic of macroeconomics, and it is the introduction to economic fluctuations. Now we'll see that what are the fluctuations in an economy and how to handle those fluctuations, how these fluctuation affects the macroeconomic parameter in an economy. So this is the topic for discussion of today's class. We'll try to learn the difference between two time horizons, two time periods. As we know that in economics, when we talk about in macro, especially macro, there are two time periods, short run and long term period. तो इन दोनों की बात करेंगे, and we'll see that how economic fluctuations can affect different economic parameters both in the short run and in the long run. उसके बाद हम बात करेंगे, we'll talk about the aggregate demand, and we'll try to explain these fluctuations in terms of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And aggregate supply की जब बात करेंगे, तो again we'll try to differentiate the aggregate supply between short run and long run. What is the shape, what is the status of aggregate supply in the short run and in the long run. तो ये जो चीज़ें हैं, तीन चार चीज़ें आज के लेक्चर में हम सीखने की कोशिश करेंगे. We'll start to know or to learn about the economic fluctuations. If you look in this diagram, the diagram is about the real GDP growth rate. On y-axis there are it is the percentage change in growth rate of real GDP, and on x-axis we are measuring the different years, or taking different years. So if you see that there is a lot of fluctuations that is taking place in real GDP in case of US economy. Similarly, if we talk about Pakistan economy, Pakistan economy real GDP growth rate is even worse than this. It has more fluctuations, frequent fluctuations in case of real GDP growth in case of Pakistan. These fluctuations, economic fluctuations, are associated with different kind of economic scenarios. Like if real GDP is going down, suppose if we talk about 1961, when the real GDP growth rate was below zero, -1. So this is kind of recession in the economy. And if we talk about 1964, it goes up to maybe 6.5%, right? Similarly, again it goes down to 3.7% in 1965, again goes up. So if you see that एवरेज ग्रोथ रेट दैट इज दैट इफ यू सी द रेड लाइन, जो रेड लाइन आपको नजर आ रही है, अगर इसको आप देखें तो एवरेज ग्रोथ रेट is almost 3.5%, right? So and you can see that there is a lot of fluctuation over and above than this average growth rate. कभी ऊपर हो जाती है, कभी नीचे हो जाती है. तो these fluctuations in real GDP growth rate is because of economic fluctuations or change in economic scenario in the economy. Economists basically terms these economic fluctuation business cycle का नाम देते हैं, right? They call it business cycle, right? So in different time periods we have a different kind of fluctuations in the economy. As we know that now we are going to discuss about the time horizon. There are two time periods, two time horizon, long run और short run की बात करेंगे हम. When we talk about long run, prices are flexible, pretty flexible in the long run, respond to change in the supply and demand, respond to change in the aggregate demand and aggregate supply in the economy. So prices are flexible in the long run, that can affect the aggregate demand, that can affect the aggregate supply. So prices are not sticky, not constant in the long run, because the firm or the producer get enough time to respond to any economic fluctuation, and they can change the prices of their product in order to cover the cost, whatever they want to decide, whether they want to increase the price, decrease the price as per response to the economic fluctuation in the country, but they have enough time to change the prices. So in the long run, prices are flexible, and then it responds to changes in supply or demand. And when we talk about short run is the time period in which many prices are sticky, in which many prices are constant, and they are at some predetermined level. It cannot be changed. If there is some economic fluctuation taking place in the short run, if there is any change in supply and demand, if there is any change in output and employment in the short run time period in the economy, तो उसका क्या होता है? Prices are sticky in the short run. They are at the predetermined level, so they will not respond to any change in demand or supply. So the economy behaves much differently when prices are sticky. So when prices are sticky, prices are constant or at predetermined level, economy behaves much differently than when prices are flexible in the long run, right? So there are two time periods, short run and long time period. हमने ये देखा कि in long run prices जो होती हैं क्या होती हैं? Flexible होती हैं, adjust करती हैं according to change in demand and supply. But in the short run, prices are constant, prices are sticky and are at predetermined level. It does not respond to any change in supply or demand in the short run. So we can say that, we can conclude that the economy behaves much differently when prices are sticky than as compared to when the prices are flexible in the long run. In classical macroeconomic theory, now classical are the economists who believe in the long run, right? Output is determined by supply side in case of classical economy, like output is determined by the supply side, and there are a number of factors which are responsible or which are the determinant of output in an economy. For example, supply of labor and capital are the two factors, major factors that determine the output level in the economy. अगर आपको याद होगा, हमने शुरू में एक प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन की बात की थी, प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन के बारे में पढ़ा था. हमने कहा था कि output is a function of y, which is output. Y is a function of capital and labor. So normally there are two factors of production which are used to produce output or goods and services in the economy, and those factors of production are capital and labor. And the third factor which is used in the production process to produce output in the economy, along with these two factors of production, the third factor is the technology. Level of technology is required to produce level of output in the economy. So these three factors of production are used to produce output in the economy, which is capital, labor and technology. Now changes in the demand for goods and services, that is whenever there is change in consumption, whenever there is change in investment, whenever there is change in government expenditure only affect prices, not quantity. जब भी कभी डिमांड फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज में इजाफा होता है या कमी वाक़ई होती है, एंड विच इज़ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कंजम्पशन, which is in the form of investment, and which is in the form of goods government expenditure, that affects only the prices, that does not affect the quantity of goods and services produced, right? So please keep in mind, जब भी कभी डिमांड में तब्दीली आती है, डिमांड ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज में तब्दीली आती है, तो that directly affect to the prices, does not affect to the quantity of the goods and services produced in the country. Now, complete price flexibility is crucial assumption in the classical economics, in the classical model, right? Classical economists believe that prices are complete flexible, and in this case when we say that prices are complete flexible, and classical economists believe on the flexibility of the prices in the long run, so we can say that the classical theory applies in the long run only, not in the short run. And this is the agreement between most of the economists. They say that classical economists, जो classical macroeconomics है, जो classical economics की जो theory है, they believe on the long run and in which the prices are flexible. Now, when prices are sticky, when prices are constant, what happens? Output and employment level also depends on the demand for goods and services, which is affected by prices. जब sticky होती हैं, तो in that case output and employment level in the country depends on the demand for goods and services, and those that demand for goods and services is affected by many parameters in the economy, many macroeconomic parameters like fiscal policy. And what are the fiscal policy tools? Government spending and taxes. Now, whenever there is a change in government spendings and taxes, that can affect the demand for goods and services in the economy. Suppose if government decrease government spendings, increase revenues, what will happen? The demand for goods and services will go up, right? So in this case, more output will be produced, employment में इजाफा होगा, unemployment में कमी बाकी होगी. Similarly, monetary policy जो है can also affect the demand for goods and services. If the money supply in the country will go up, naturally the demand for money or the demand for real balances with the people will go up. जब money supply में इजाफा होता है, तब्दीली आती है, तो उससे क्या होगा? Demand for goods में भी change आएगी, and then which in turns bring a change in the output and employment in the economy. Other factors, there are some other factors that can also affect the demand for goods and services in the short run, are like which are the exogenous changes in consumption, changes in investment in the economy. Whenever there is a change in the consumption, individual consumption, or the public consumption, or the government consumption, or investment, private and public both, that can affect the demand for goods and services, and which in turn affect the output level in the economy, employment level in the economy. So this is when prices are sticky, then output and employment also depends on the demand for goods and services, and that demand which of goods and services is affected by many parameters, as we discussed, like that demand can be affected or changed by the change in fiscal policy parameters, monetary policy, or change in other exogenous variable like consumption and investment level in the economy. Now we are trying to explain the economic fluctuations in terms of aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. So the paradigm that most mainstream economists and policymakers use to think about economic fluctuation and to policies to stabilize the economy. तो बहुत सारे economists जो हैं, उन policy makers जो हैं, they always think about economic fluctuation and try to design policy, try to devise such policy which are important or which can stabilize the economies, right? So the job of this is general perception or agreement that जो mainstream economists हैं या policy maker हैं, उनका काम यही है. They always look upon or look at the status of the economy or stage, what are the fluctuations coming up in the economy, and try to design the policies to stabilize that economy. And the model of aggregate demand and supply also show how the price level and aggregate demand or aggregate output are determined in the economy. How output is determined, how price level is determined. It also show how economy behave differently in the short run and the long run. So तीन चार चीज़ों की जो मॉडल हमारा है aggregate demand and supply का, basically this explains tells the economist or the policy maker what are the fluctuations in the economy, and accordingly ये जो policy makers हैं, the economists हैं, their job is to design the policies to stabilize in the economy. It also helps to economists how the price level aggregate output is determined in the economy. This model also helps the economy, also helps the economist, the policy maker, and it tells the economist how economy behave is different in the short run and in the long run. Try to learn try to know something about aggregate demand, the aggregate demand curve, and then aggregate supply, and then we'll try to combine these two and see whenever there's fluctuation how the economy comes back to its full employment level in the country or in the economy. Aggregate demand curve shows the negative relationship, show the relationship between the price level and the quantity of output demanded, right? So if we talk about a demand for one particular product, जैसा कि हमने शुरू में देखा था demand और supply के chapter में, कि demand for a certain good is negatively related with the price of its product, with its price. Similarly, the aggregate demand shows the relationship between the price level and aggregate output or the quantity of output demanded in the country. Now, in this chapter, we would like to understand about the aggregate demand, aggregate supply model. We use simple theory of aggregate demand, which is based on quantity theory of money. So, we would like to explain the concept of aggregate demand, which is based on the QTM. If you remember, हमने quantity theory of money detail में पढ़ी थी in the chapter of money and supply. So here we will discuss the concept or the theory of aggregate demand in terms of quantity theory of money. Recall that what we have seen or observed in QTM, we have come up with an equation which was MV is equal to PY, where M is the money supply, V is the velocity of money, P is the price level, Y is the output level. And the money demand function that we have determined from this equation was M over PK, M over PD, O is equal to KY, where K is equal to 1 over V. M over P is the demand for real balances. Demand for real balances is a function of, depends on the level of output in the economy. Now for any given values of M and V, these equations imply an inverse relationship between output and price, between P and Y. Now suppose if M is given to us and velocity is given to us, so then price and output level in the economy are inversely related. Suppose if prices goes up, output will go down. The demand for output will go down. So the relationship between price and output level in the economy is inverse if we suppose that M, which is the money supply, V, which is the velocity, if both these two parameters are given to us, and then we can say that P, which is the price level, and Y, which is the output level, are inversely related or negatively related with each other. By this principle, if you can see on this slide, we have a downward sloping demand curve. On y-axis we are measuring price level in the country, prices in the economy, and y-axis, x-axis measuring output level in the economy. And as we said that if we hold M and V constant, and then prices P and Y are negatively related. So because of that reason or principle, we have a downward sloping aggregate demand curve. An increase in the price level cause a fall in real money balances. So जब price level में इजाफा होता है, तो demand for real balances, the real balances will go down, M or P will go down, causing a decrease in demand फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, राइट। तो जब लोगों के पास पैसा कम होगा, जब रियल बैलेंसेस कम होंगे, क्योंकि प्राइसेस में इजाफा हो गया है, तो क्या होगा, द डिमांड फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज विल गो डाउन. And how we can change, what are the factors that can bring a shift in the curve? Now, an increase in money supply in the country. Money supply is the variable in this quantity theory of equation. हमने price में देखा कि whenever there is a change in price of the good, price level in the country, so what will happen? Demand for real balances will go down, और उसको demand for goods or services कम हो जाएगी. तो but will move on the same curve. ये उसी curve पे रहेंगे. Like suppose we have this price level here. Now suppose this is P. This is Y. This is P naught, right? At certain price level we have a Y naught output level. Now if suppose, as we see, that if prices goes up from P naught to P1, demand for real balances go down, and output level or demand for goods and services will go down from Y naught to Y1. Right, but the economy is moving along the same aggregate demand curve. But there is a variable how this aggregate demand curve shift upward and downward. Suppose if the money supply in the economy will go up, what will happen? The demand for real balances will go up. The real balances will go up, and the aggregate demand will go up. And the aggregate demand जब बढ़ेगी, demand for goods and services बढ़ेगी, the aggregate demand curve will shift rightward from AD1 to AD2, जैसा कि आपको सामने के डायग्राम में नजर आ रहा है. So whenever there is a change in demand for goods and services due to change in price, so then there is a movement along the aggregate demand curve. But whenever there is a change in demand due to change in money supply or some other parameter in the economy, then there will be a shift in the aggregate demand curve upward and downward. तो प्लीज़ याद रखें, बताने का मकसद ये है कि जब भी कभी aggregate demand में तब्दीली वाक़ई होती है due to change in price, तो the economy moves along the same aggregate demand curve at a different price level, at a different quantity demand for goods and services. But whenever there is a change in demand, change in aggregate demand due to change in some other parameter, not price, like money supply or some other factor, so then there will be a shift in aggregate demand curve from upward or downward, and which is seen here. यहाँ पे हमने देखा कि जब money supply में इजाफा होता है तो demand for the real balances will go up and the demand curve will shift to the right. So we have seen one side of the model, aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. We have drawn the aggregate demand curve, and which we have seen that is the negatively sloped curve, which tells us the negative relationship between aggregate demand and price level in the country. Now to complete the model, to move further to see how the economic fluctuation affects the price level and output level in the economy, we need to look at this aggregate supply curve of the economy. Now aggregate supply, as we said that, as we discussed that, there are two time periods. दो time periods हैं, time horizon है in the country, long run और short run. तो जब दो time period होंगे, short run और long run, तो aggregate supply curve जो उसकी shape है वो different होगी. First we talk about aggregate supply in the long run. In the long run, output is determined by factor supplies and technologies. That Y bar is a function of capital and labor, and where we have placed K bar and L bar, it means supply of these factors is fixed. K bar is fixed, L bar is fixed, and then we produce a fixed level of output in the economy. So Y bar is a full employment level, is known as the full employment level, full employment or natural level of output in the economy. The level of output at which the economy resources are fully utilized, are fully employed. So this is the level of output. Y bar is the level of output that is produced in the economy, and at this level of output, all resources of the country are fully employed, whether it is capital, whether it is labor or technology, right? So Y bar is known as the full employment level output, or the natural level of output which is produced in the economy, and at this level of output all factors of production are fully employed, are fully utilized. So full employment means unemployment equal to its natural rate. So at this level of output, we can say that there is full employment level in the economy, and full employment means the unemployment level are equal to its natural rate. Natural rate is the level of unemployment which जैसा कि हमने सीखा था, natural rate एक ऐसा unemployment level होता है कि which always prevails or remains in the economy. So in the long run, output is determined by factor supplies and technology, and we can write the production function as Y bar is a function of capital and labor. So full employment output does not depend on the price level. So it depends on the factors of production, which is capital, labor and technology. It does not depend on the price level, so that long run aggregate supply curve is vertical. It is given, right? So whatever is the price level, output level will remain fixed. जैसा कि हमने कहा कि output level in the economy is determined by the supplies of capital, the supplies of labor and technology, and all these are fixed, are given, and they are used at their full capacity. When we have full employment level in the economy, when the output is at its natural rate, at that level all factors are fully employed and output level is produced at maximum level. Now when we have this, full employment level of output does not depend on the price level, but it depends on the factors available in the country, and we have seen that factors जो हैं वो given हैं, fixed हैं, output is given, so we have a vertical supply curve in the aggregate supply curve in the long run. And if you look in this diagram, on y-axis we are measuring the price of good, on x-axis we are measuring the output level in the economy. Y bar is fixed, Y bar is given, so we have a vertical aggregate supply curve. Whatever is the price level in the country and the economy, output level will remain same. So we can say that हम ये कह सकते हैं कि full employment level output जो है does not depend on price level. It depends on the factor supplies which are given, which are fixed, which is capital, labor and level of technology. So the long run aggregate supply curve is vertical at full employment level of output. Now we'll combine both these two sides of the economy of the market, which is the aggregate demand and aggregate supply, and see that how the change in any parameter in the economy affects the level of output and price level in the country or in the economy. If you look in this diagram, on y-axis we are measuring or taking price, on x-axis we are measuring output. We have aggregate demand curve. ED1 is the initial aggregate demand curve, and LRAS is the long run aggregate supply curve, जैसा कि हमने अभी देखा कि which is vertical, which is given to us. Both of these two curves, AD1 and LRAS, intersect each other at a point at point A. At point A, if you see that price level is P1, output level is at its full employment level. Now suppose an increase in M, if there is increase in M, what will happen? अभी हमने पीछे देखा था कि whenever there is change in price level, there will be a change in output level, but the economy remains on the same aggregate demand curve. But whenever there is a change in demand, aggregate demand, due to change in some other parameter like money supply, then there will be a shift in the aggregate demand curve. Now suppose money supply goes up, so what will happen? Aggregate demand will increase, and there is a shift in aggregate demand curve from AD1 to AD2. Now this new curve is intersecting and the long run aggregate supply curve at point B. Now at point B, if you see that output is still at full employment level, but prices has gone up from P1 to P2 because there is a change in the aggregate demand due to change in money supply. So prices will go up from P1 to P2, but this leaves the output unchanged. Output will remain same because this is a long run. Output is already at full employment level. All factors of production, which is capital and labor and technology, are at full capacity, or they are utilized, or they are fully employed in the country or in the economy. So we can say that in the long run, this increase in the price level, this will bring a change in the price level, but leaves output same or unchanged. Now we'll see what is the shape of the aggregate supply curve in the short run. In real world, many prices are sticky in the short run. So if we talk about practical world or the real world की बात करें तो short run में prices constant होती हैं, sticky होती हैं, इतनी जल्दी तब्दील नहीं होती. For now, we assume that all prices are sticky, are stuck at a predetermined level in the short run, and that firms are willing to sell as much as their customers are willing to buy at that price level. तो firms की ये कोशिश होती है कि they will sell maximum of their output, maximum of their goods and services at the price level which is predetermined, because they don't want to lose or don't want to earn loss. So they will sell maximum of their product at the price level which is predetermined, which is fixed, which is sticky, which is given to us, and therefore the short run aggregate supply curve is horizontal because the price will remain same, but there will be change in demand for goods and services, right? Sometime it depends on the kind of economic fluctuation. कभी उसमें कमी वाक़ई हो जाएगी, कभी उसमें इजाफा वाक़ई हो जाएगा. If there is a recession, so aggregate supply में कमी वाक़ई हो जाएगी. If there is a boom in the economy, aggregate supply में इजाफा वाक़ई हो जाएगा. But the prices will remain same because we said that prices are constant. Prices are sticky in the short run. They are at predetermined level. There is no change in the prices in the short run. Only whenever there is economic fluctuation, this will bring a change in demand or output level in the economy, not price level income. So we can say that in short run, aggregate supply curve is horizontal. We can see that short run aggregate supply curve which is horizontal in this diagram. On y-axis we are measuring price, on x-axis we are taking the output level in the economy. The SRAS curve is horizontal and the price level is fixed at a predetermined level, and firms try to sell as much as they can at this given price level. उनकी कोशिश होती है कि जितना मैक्सिमम हो सकता है इस पे बेच दें, फरोख्त कर दें, so that they can earn more profit. Now we'll try to bring again these two sides of the economy, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, in one diagram, and try to see that whenever there is a change in any parameter, not price, how it affects the output level and the price level in the country or in the economy. On y-axis we are measuring price, we are taking price in the economy, and x-axis output level or output produced in the country and the economy. AD is the aggregate demand curve, SRAS is the short run aggregate supply curve. Both are these two curves are intersecting and each other at a point. So they are intersecting each other at a point where price level is P bar and output is Y1. Now suppose if there is change in money supply, if money supply will increase in M, what will happen? This will bring a shift in the aggregate demand curve. So when there is a shift in aggregate demand curve to the right, if you see that in the diagram, price level is same, price is not changed, but output has increased. तो जब डिमांड में इजाफा हुआ, aggregate डिमांड में इजाफा हुआ, तो आउटपुट लेवल में भी इजाफा हो गया. Increase in aggregate demand so will change the level of output in the economy, but price level will remain same when we have a short run aggregate supply curve. And in short run जब prices sticky होती हैं, prices constant होती हैं, तो whenever there is a change in the economy through any parameter, this will bring a change in output in the economy, not change in the price level. Now we can summarize what we have learned about these two different types of aggregate supply curve, short run and long run, and combined it with the aggregate demand curve. Now from the short run to the long run, over time prices gradually become unstuck. When they do, they will rise or fall. So whenever the time goes on, time गुजरता जाता है, long run की तरफ move कर जाते हैं, तो prices क्या होती हैं? Unstuck होती हैं, they become flexible. So when they do that, when prices are flexible, what will happen? Either they will rise or will fall. So in short run equilibrium, if output Y is greater than Y bar, or the produced or the output level in the economy is greater than the full employment level economy, what will happen? Prices will go up. Over the time, the price level will go up, price level will rise, right? But in the equilibrium, in the short run equilibrium, if Y is less than Y bar, the prices will fall, right? But if Y is equal to Y bar, then price will remain constant. So this adjustment of prices is what moves the economy to its long run equilibrium. So this is the adjustment whenever there is economic fluctuation. And what is the economic fluctuation? कि जैसा कि हमने देखा कि Y bar is the full employment level of output. So whenever output level in the economy is different than this Y bar, then of course prices will behave differently over time. तो हमने ये कहा कि जब when Y is greater than Y bar, the actual level of output is greater than the full employment or the natural level of output, so what will happen? Prices will start rising. जब prices बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएंगी तो output produce जो output जो demand है वो कम हो जाएगी, तो Y will start going down. So at the end, in the long run, output will come to its natural level of output, which is Y bar. Similarly, when Y or the output level produced, actual output level produced is less than full employment level of output, what will happen? Prices start falling. जब prices कम होना शुरू होती हैं तो क्या हो जाएगी? Demand for goods and services बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएगी. तो the firms will produce more output in the economy, more goods and services in the economy, and the economy will reach to its natural level of output in the long run. But as long as Y is equal to Y bar, actual output is equal to its full employment level of output, Y bar, then there is no change in the price level. So this adjustment of prices is what moves the economy to its long run equilibrium, right? So this is the, you can say that, okay, how economy moves from a short run equilibrium to the long run equilibrium. Now we'll see that the SR and long run effects of delta M is positive. We'll see how the fluctuations, if there is a fluctuation in the economy, how it affects the price level, output level in the economy. On Y-axis, price is measured. On X-axis, output Y is measured. We have initial aggregate demand curve, AD1. We have short run aggregate supply curve. We have long run aggregate supply curve. If you look at all these three curves are intersecting each other at a point A. What is happening at point A? Price P bar is at full level, is constant, is given, and Y bar is output is at full employment level. Now what will happen if there is a change in the money supply in the economy? What will happen if there is a change in money supply, or money supply goes up, delta M is greater than 0, means money supply is increasing? What will happen to the aggregate demand curve? Aggregate demand curve will shift rightward, right? Now this shift in aggregate demand curve to the right side, the curve intersecting the short run aggregate supply curve at point B. So price level in the short run will remain same at P bar, but output has increased due to the change in money supply, due to increase in money supply. Now whenever there is increase in the level of output at the same price level due to increase in money supply, what will happen in the long run? अभी जब हमने पीछे देखा कि when y is greater than y bar, so here v2 is greater than y bar, so what will happen? Prices will start rising in the long run. Over the time period, price will continue to rise. जब prices में इजाफा होना शुरू हो जाएगा तो output produce में कमी वाक़ई हो जाएगी. तो अगर आप देखें, economy moves from point B to point C, which is the long run equilibrium, and prices has gone up from P bar to P2, and output level comes back to its natural rate of employment, natural level of output, which is Y bar. So this is how the adjustment takes place from short run to long run. And whenever there is a fluctuation in the economy due to change in some economic parameters, so economy moves to its natural level of output from short run to long run, due to automatic stabilizer in the economy. Now how shocks can be described, and how shocks can affect the level of economic parameters in the economy. Shocks, what are the shocks basically? Shocks, exogenous changes in aggregate supply or demand. So whenever there is change in aggregate demand, whenever there is change in aggregate supply, and that basically known as a shock. And whenever there is change in aggregate demand or aggregate supply, that is due to change in some of the economic parameter, whether it is fiscal policy, by fiscal policy, or monetary policy, or some other economic parameters. So whenever there is a change in aggregate demand and aggregate supply, we call it as a shock in the economy. Shocks temporarily push the economy away from its full employment level, and then in the long run it will come back to its natural rate of unemployment and natural rate of full employment. An example of demand shock, and for example, if there is exogenous decrease in the velocity, what will happen? If the money supply is held constant, then decrease in velocity means people will use their money in fewer transactions, causing a decrease in the demand for goods and services. तो जब velocity में कमी वाक़ई होगी, इसका मतलब क्या है कि there is less money supply in circulation. जब money supply less circulation में होगी तो लोग अब क्या करेंगे? लोग जो है demand for transactions कम करेंगे, demand for goods and services कम हो जाएगी, right? तो when demand for goods and services go down due to change in velocity, due to decrease in velocity, this is called a shock, temporary shock, right? So this has affected the level of demand of goods and services in the economy. So how we can recover from this shock, we'll see that. Now we can explain the different kind of shocks that can affect the economy with the help of different diagrams. Now see in this diagram, on y-axis we are measuring price, on x-axis we are measuring output level in the economy. We have aggregate demand ED1, initial aggregate demand curve. So we have short run aggregate supply curve, which is horizontal. We have a long run aggregate supply curve, which is vertical. All these three curves are intersecting each other at point A, where price is P bar and output is Y bar at its natural rate or full employment level. Now suppose if we talk about negative shock or negative demand shock, what we mean by negative demand shock? अभी हमने देखा कि जब velocity में कमी वाक़ई होगी तो उससे क्या होगा? जब velocity में कमी वाक़ई हो जाएगी तो लोग जो हैं कम ट्रांजैक्शंस करेंगे. जब वो ट्रांजैक्शंस कम करेंगे तो एग्रीगेट डिमांड जो है वो कम हो जाएगी, डिमांड फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज कम हो जाएगी. तो दिस इज नोन एज द नेगेटिव डिमांड शॉक. सो नेगेटिव डिमांड शॉक मीन्स डिमांड जो ओवरऑल एग्रीगेट डिमांड है इकोनॉमी में वो उसमें कमी वाक़ई हो जाती है. सो डिमांड कर्व विल शिफ्ट डाउनवर्ड. सो व्हेन डिमांड कर्व शिफ्ट फ्रॉम AD1 to AD2, so if you look in the diagram, and now this new demand curve AD2 intersect the short run aggregate supply curve at point B, right? So if the economy moves from point A to point B in the short run, and what is happening here, क्या सूरत हाल है यहाँ पे? Price remains same, but output level produced in the economy or supplied in the country is less than full employment level. What it means, all of the resources are not fully utilized, are not fully employed. So Y2 is less than Y bar. तो जैसा कि हमने पिछली स्लाइड में देखा कि whenever Y2 or the actual level of output is less than Y bar, तो जब एक्चुअल लेवल ऑफ आउटपुट लेस होगा Y बार से तो क्या होगा, प्राइसेस विल स्टार्ट फॉलिंग डाउन. जब प्राइसेस में कमी वाक़ई होगी तो क्या होगा, जब प्राइसेस में कमी वाक़ई होगी तो आउटपुट डिमांड बढ़ जाएगी ना. जब डिमांड बढ़ेगी तो विल मूव और द इकोनॉमी मूव फ्रॉम पॉइंट बी टू पॉइंट सी विच इज द लॉन्ग रन इक्विलिब्रियम. तो इन शॉर्ट रन में जो कमी वाक़ई होती है आउटपुट में, लॉन्ग रन में वो पूरी हो जाएगी. सो ओवर द टाइम पीरियड प्राइसेस फॉल एंड द इकोनॉमी मूव्स डाउन इट्स डिमांड कर्व टुवर्ड्स फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट लेवल विच इज पॉइंट सी. At point C, prices are comes down from P bar to P2, and output has come back to its natural rate or full employment level at Y bar. Now we'll see that so far we have discussed the demand shock. Now we'll see that if there is a supply shock, so what will happen and how the economy behaves in due to supply shocks. Now a supply shock alters production cost. Whenever there is supply shock, it changes the cost of production of the firm, affects the prices that firms charge, also called price shocks. So supply shock को normally हम price shock भी कहते हैं, because whenever there is a change in the cost of production जब बढ़ती है या कम होती है तो उससे prices को भी इफेक्ट होता है. तो इसलिए फर्म्स जो है इसको प्राइस शॉक्स का नाम भी देते हैं. देयर आर फ्यू एग्जांपल ऑफ सप्लाई शॉक्स. नंबर वन, फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट बैड वेदर reduces crop yields, pushing up food prices, right? So this is one of the supply shock assumption कि ख़राब मौसम की वजह से फसल अच्छी नहीं हुई, फूड क्रॉप्स अच्छी नहीं हुई, जिससे which will push up food prices. Workers unionize, negotiate wage increase. तो worker, as you know that बहुत सारी organizations में there are workers unions which comes together, negotiate wages with the authorities, with the top management, and sometimes wages are increased. तो उसकी वजह से supply shock हो सकता है, prices बढ़ सकती है. There are new environmental regulation requires firm to reduce emissions, right? So when there are new environmental regulation तो उससे भी prices चीज़ों की effect हो सकती है, supply effect हो सकती है, and that is known as the supply shock. Now firms charge higher prices to help cover the cost of compliance. Favorable supply shocks lower cost and prices. So there are favorable shocks, supply shocks, and adverse supply shocks. तो in case of favorable supply shocks, जब favorable supply shocks होते हैं तो क्या होता है, कॉस्ट में कमी वाक़या होती है और प्राइसेस में भी कमी वाक़या होती है. बट whenever there are adverse supply shocks, unfavorable supply shocks, तो क्या होता है, कास्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन में इजाफा होता है और प्राइसेस में भी इजाफा होता है. सो सप्लाई शॉक्स आर ड्यू टू और alters the cost of production. Either cost of production goes up or goes down. In case of adverse supply shock, cost of production में इजाफा होता है और prices में इजाफा हो जाता है. But in case of favorable supply shocks, cost of production में कमी वाक़ई होती है और prices में भी कमी वाक़ई होती है. तो we'll see that whenever there is a adverse or positive or favorable supply shocks, what will happen to the economy in the short run and how economy behaves over the time period and what will happen in the long run. So we'll see in the coming few slides. In 1970 there was oil shocks. If you remember, in 1970s का जो पीरियड था उसमें डिफरेंट किस्म के oil shocks आए. In early 1970 OPEC coordinates with each other and they try to reduce the supply of oil. So what will happen? What happened in that time? जितने भी oil producing exporting countries थे, they come together, sit together and decide to reduce the supply of oil in the world market. What happened then? क्या हुआ? उससे जब सप्लाई कम हुई, जब ऑयल की सप्लाई कम हुई तो प्राइसेस बढ़ना शुरू हो गई। 11% prices rose by 11% in 1973, prices rose 68% in 1974, prices rose 16% in 1975. So such sharp oil prices increases are supply shocks because they significantly impact the production cost and prices. क्योंकि जब ऑयल की प्राइसेस में इजाफा हुआ ड्यू टू रिडक्शन इन द सप्लाई ऑफ ऑयल, तो दीज आर नोन एज द ऑयल प्राइस शॉक्स। जब इन प्राइस शॉक्स की वजह से देयर वाज ए change or significantly change or impact on the production cost में इजाफा हो गया और prices में इजाफा। तो these are this is one of the best example of supply shock, and which was due to decrease in the supply of oil in 70s। जब oil की supply में कमी वाक़ हुई तो prices में तब्दीली वाक़ हुई, जिससे cost of production में इजाफा हुआ और prices में। This is one of the good example of supply shocks in 70s। You see that in this diagram, if you look in this diagram, again price on y-axis and output on x-axis, we have AD aggregate demand curve, we have long run aggregate supply curve, we have short run aggregate supply curve. All these three curves are intersecting at point A. Economy is at equilibrium at P, when at price at P bar, P1 bar, and output is Y bar. Now suppose the oil price shocks shift the aggregate supply. So due to decrease causing output and output demand to fall. Short run aggregate supply oil price shocks shift these SR short run aggregate supply up, causing output to fall from Y bar to Y2. In absence of further price shocks, price will fall over time. अब इसके बाद कोई कंटिन्यू नहीं रहता, कोई प्राइस नहीं चेंज होती, तो क्या होगा लॉन्ग रन में, जैसे हमने कहा कि जब प्राइसेस में इजाफा होगा तो लॉन्ग रन में प्राइसेस में कमी वाक़ई होना शुरू हो जाएगी और इकोनॉमी विल मूव फ्रॉम पॉइंट बी टू ए बार। You see that and in the 1970 oil shocks, what happens, predicted effects of the oil price shocks helps। क्या हुआ, उसका रिजल्ट क्या हुआ कि मुल्क में इजाफा हो गया, मुल्कों वर्ल्ड पूरी मुख्तलिफ ममालिक में इन्फ्लेशन में इजाफा हो गया, आउटपुट में कमी वाक़या हो गई, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट में इजाफा वाक़या हो गया, एंड देन ग्रेजुअली the economy is recovered from that oil price shock. So if you look in this diagram, so what is happening due to 1970 oil shocks? If you look at, there's an increase in inflation in the oil price shock period, and then there is an increase in inflation rate, decrease in output level, or increase in unemployment level. But after 1975, all these parameters, if अगर आप देखें तो they start recovering, are coming back to its natural level. So late 1970s, as economy was recovering, oil prices shot up again. तो दोबारा बढ़ना शुरू हो गया. What happens? Causing another huge supply shock. जिसकी वजह से दोबारा supply shock आ गया, and then it creates inflation, it creates unemployment, it reduces output level in the economy. In 1980s, a favorable supply shock, a significant fall in oil prices. तो जब oil prices में कमी वाक़ई हुई, what will happen as the model would predict, inflation and unemployment fell. तो inflation में कमी वाक़ई हुई, unemployment में कमी वाक़ई हुई और output में इजाफा हुआ, right? So due to change in the oil prices in 1980s, जब 1980s में oil prices में कमी वाक़ई हुई तो inflation में भी कमी वाक़ई हुई और unemployment में भी कमी वाक़ई हुई. So this is 1970 और 1980s का जो oil shocks थे, prices of oil जब change हुई तो these are known as the supply shocks. क्योंकि oil की prices की तब्दील होने की वजह से cost of production जो है firm की उसमें तब्दीली आती है, जिससे inflation, unemployment और output level effect होता है किसी economy में. Now whenever there are shocks, whenever there are fluctuations, whenever there are disturbances in the economy, the job of the economist, job of the policymaker is to stabilize the economy by introducing stabilization policies. So policy action aimed at reducing the severity of short-run economic fluctuation. So whenever there are short-run economic fluctuation, whether it is due to aggregate demand, whether it is due to aggregate supply, and now the policy action would be reduce that severity problems, right? To policy maker का challenge क्या होता है कि they design or devise such stabilization policy to cover up those shocks, whether it is demand shock or supply shock. Example, using monetary policy to combat the effects of adverse supply shock. So government can use monetary policy to combat or to reduce the effects of adverse supply shocks. Similarly, government can use fiscal policy, government use monetary policy or some other policies to control or to reduce these adverse supply shocks and demand shocks, and that is known as the stabilization policy. Stabilizing output with monetary policy. On again y-axis prices, on x-axis output. We have initial aggregate demand curve AD1, LRAS, long run aggregate supply curve, short run aggregate supply curve. Economy is in equilibrium at point A, where price level is P1 bar, output level is Y bar. Now the adverse supply shocks moves the economy to point B, where output has fallen from Y bar to Y2 and prices has gone up from P bar to P1 bar to P2. So what will happen? So this is a shock. क्या हुआ? This is a temporary shock कि जब supply shock की वजह से economy move from point A to B. अब what is the effect of that supply shock? आउटपुट में कमी वाक़ हो गई फ्राम Y बार टू Y2 और प्राइसेस में इजाफा हो गया फ्राम P1 टू P बार. So this is a supply shock. Now policy makers can cover up from this supply shock by adopting monetary policy. And if the Fed or the federal government or the State Bank of Pakistan or the central bank of any country use monetary policy or money supply, which by increasing money supply in the economy to cover up this shock, what will happen? Aggregate demand will increase, and as you see that aggregate demand curve will shift from AD1 to AD2, and economy moves back to its full employment level output, and the economy is at equilibrium at point C. Now what is happening at C? Due to supply shock, prices has gone up from P1 to P bar, but economy reached back at its full employment level of output from Y2 to Y bar. So P is permanently higher, but Y remains at its full employment level. So you see that what happens to that supply shock? उस supply shock की वजह से initially prices में इजाफा हुआ, economy एक different point पे आ गई from A to B. But government ने policy maker ने to stabilize or to get rid of that shock क्या किया कि मनी सप्लाई में इजाफा किया. उसका फ़ायदा क्या हुआ कि मनी सप्लाई के साथ आउटपुट में इजाफा होना शुरू हुआ और इकानमी कम बैक्स टू इट्स फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट लेवल विच इज़ वाई बार, but prices remain at price remain at higher level, which is P2. But again, the benefit of that policy is that output has also increased from Y to Y bar. So this was all about today. So what we have learned today, I just summarize in a slide, and then I will end up with this lecture. We discussed what are the fluctuations, how we define fluctuation whenever economy, there is disequilibrium in the economy, in the market. So that is kind of a situation when we can say that there is economic fluctuation or change in economic parameter. There are two time periods जिसकी हमने बात की. Long run, in which prices are flexible, output and employment are always at their natural rates, and the classical theory applies to the long run time period. In short run हमने क्या देखा? Prices are sticky, shocks can push output and employment away from their natural rates. So what happens in the short run? हमने ये देखा कि when prices are sticky, prices are constant, जो shocks हैं, whether it is supply shock, whether it is a demand shock, that push output and employment level away from their natural rates. temporarily, but over the time period when the economy moved from short term to long term, economy come back to its natural rate of output and employment. उसके बाद हमने क्या देखा? We have learned about the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. We have seen that the aggregate demand curve is negatively sloped because of the negative relationship between price level and output in the economy. After that, to complete the model, हमने supply curve draw किया और हमने देखा कि there is a difference in the shape of supply curve in the short run and in the long run. In long run, all factors of production output is produced by supplies of capital and labor, and they are fixed, they are given. So in the long run, aggregate supply is vertical. In the short run, since prices are at predetermined level and firms tries to sell their output at that level, maximum output level at that price level, so in short run we have a horizontal supply curve, in the long run we have a vertical supply curve. And after that, we have combined all these three curves: aggregate demand, short run aggregate supply curve, and long run aggregate supply curve. And we have seen that if there is a disturbance, if there is a fluctuation in the economy in the short run, how economy behaves and what will happen over the time in the long run, and वो भी हमने देखा. And the short aggregate supply is horizontal because prices are sticky, prices are constant. So this was all about today's lecture. At the last we जब हमने देखा कि how the Fed can attempt to stabilize the economy with monetary policy. The government जो है, the federal bank जो है, they can stabilize the economy by using monetary policies, by increasing money supply or decreasing money supply in the country or in the economy. So overall आज की क्लास में स्टूडेंट्स हमने ये सीखा कि what are the economic fluctuation, what is fluctuation, what are the shocks. तो हमने ये देखा कि shocks are due to change in aggregate demand और aggregate supply, और उसमें हमने दो टाइम पीरियड्स की बात की. We have talked about short run, we have talked about long run. हमने ये कहा कि economy behave करती है differently, behave much differently in the short run and the long run. Short run में temporarily there is economy comes to its less than full employment level, less than full employment and less than natural rate of output, but over the time period government intervene, policymaker intervene, they introduce stabilization policies and the economy come back to its natural level. So I stop my lecture here today. I hope you have understand what we have discussed. Please go back and study the chapters from the book, and I hope you will learn. Otherwise we can discuss next time also. Till next class, students, Allah Hafiz, God bless you, God bless us.